You know, it's terribly important.
What is? Voting?
Yes, terribly. Once women get the vote, the whole country will stop making such a pig's ear of everything. There'll be no more wars, no hunger, no stupidity. We'll elect a woman president within the first 10 years, of course. You see, men are such judgmental prigs. You need us women to help straighten you out. Okay? With us helping, I'm not saying there won't be trouble. I just think we'll do a better job of things. Till this ends! It's out of control!
You dug your own
My
grave!
God!
Oh, good.
They're not happy. They're not happy at all. In fact, they're fucking furious. Good job, Rockstar! Red Dead Redemption 2 is an open-world game set on the American frontier with an almost subversive dedication to detail and realism. It's really selling it to me. Since the events of the game take place in 1899, 20 years before women in the United States got the right to vote, it features suffragettes, women activists who fought for the right to vote in public elections. Given that Red Dead Redemption 2 is the biggest video game of the year, and much of video game culture is ensconced in blatant misogyny, it's not surprising, but still upsetting, that some players are delighted that the game lets them beat, abuse, and kill these characters. And it really shouldn't, should it? Specifically, there's a suffragette in St. Denis, the game's analogue for New Orleans, who is campaigning for her right to vote. She stands on a public street with a sign and a sash and loudly proclaims, "Let me vote." One of the main reasons Red Dead Redemption 2 is such an interesting game is that it allows the player to approach and resolve these situations in a variety of ways. Players can shoot, rob, talk to and beat up almost any character they see, which at times leads to surprising outcomes. This design allowed a YouTuber going by the handle Shirako to upload a video of himself walking up to that suffragette and punching her unconscious. The video titled Red Dead Redemption 2 Beating Up Annoying Feminist was uploaded on October the 28th and currently has 1.2 million views. Wow. Doesn't it make you wonder why so many people want to punch a feminist in the face? I'm obviously not advocating for this. I would never advocate for violence. You should never punch anyone. But why do so many people want to? That's the $1.2 million question, isn't it? He followed up by feeding the suffragette to an alligator and then lassoing her and leaving on the train tracks to get hit by a train. The comments on these videos, as you might expect, are horrible. Some users think it's hilarious. Others say that this is what every feminist deserves, while others complain about how alimony laws favour women and echo other men's rights talking points. Well, I mean, they certainly don't have a valid complaint there. The problem is they just hate women. I Killed That Lady Too, user Joker Productions, a channel with over 120,000 subscribers, wrote, "Every time I went to the tailor right there, I had to listen to her yapping. I got so fed up I took her to lunch, except the only thing that was served was buckshot." I mean, I would suggest that this guy's probably a potential future Elliot Rodger, and you should probably arrest him. Investigate that man. He's definitely dangerous towards women. If you could make this small portion of the game, stretch it to full AAA game length, charge me $60 for it, and I'd pre-order it with a season pass, said Silly Goose. Silly Goose, do you know that you're not allowed to make jokes on the internet? Have you not been informed yet? Vice magazine, that edgy and subversive publication, are here to wag their finger at you. So they asked Shirako why they think his video blew up. And he says, "You know, you're probably expecting some political answer, but the truth is it was simply a funny moment from one of my streams, which I've decided to upload as a separate video. Not sure if it was intentional by Rockstar Games, but the NPC is made to be rather annoying." It's hard not to make these kind of people rather annoying, really, though, isn't it? When you try to shop for clothing in the game, your dialogue with the shopkeeper keeps getting interrupted by her shouting, so I simply wanted to shop in peace. I'm sure that as a gamer you're familiar with these annoying NPC situations. First off, the person you're talking to isn't a gamer, so they have no idea what you're talking about. And second of all, they are the annoying NPC that creates these situations. because the problem is the intricate open worlds that Rockstar creates. And it's always had this problem with controversy. In Grand Theft Auto 3, you could sleep with a sex worker and then kill them to take your money back. That doesn't mean that Rockstar endorses punching feminists, which is very generous coming from Vice, but it's worth thinking about what these open worlds allow players to do, why, and how they correspond with what's happening in the real world. Because people are punching suffragettes all over the place. They just can't get the vote. It's really tough for the real world suffragettes, constantly getting punched by cowboys. But this means that despite any thoughts that Rockstar Games might have about Shirako's video, the ability to punch and kill a suffragette in Red Dead Redemption 2 is something that the studio deliberately chose to put into the game. And that's the problem, isn't it? They created a game where the players have the freedom to do whatever they like, and part of that is the players having the freedom to be problematic. The players can't, as far as I can tell, sleep with sex workers, even when they offer their services, which means Rockstar have been listening. I'm sure in the next game you won't have any suffragettes to punch. And of course, Motherboard. Rockstar Games chose not to include the ability to kill children, despite it being unrealistic. And so don't tell me, Vice, you'd like the feminist in the game to be placed in the same category as the child, wouldn't you? They're not a full and self-conscious, fully realised adult that should be interacted with as per the rest of the adults in the universe. No. This is the special protected class that's basically on par with kids. It's also important to note that the suffragette was not portrayed in a neutral manner. The suffragettes weren't neutral. How could you possibly expect the suffragette, a political character with a political message, to be portrayed in a neutral way? So they encountered suffragettes in a small town called Rhodes, where a plantation owner's grandson had a forbidden love with the daughter of a rival family. His love interest was a suffragette, and he wanted me to tag along with her during the protest to make sure she wouldn't get hurt. There's a legitimate and historically accurate concern, as suffragettes were publicly beaten, sexually assaulted, imprisoned and force-fed. Well then, Rockstar did nothing wrong, did they? How are players supposed to feel about this? How about they feel any way they bloody want about it? I imagine the pro-feminist players are going to be annoyed by it, I imagine most normal people won't care, and I imagine the anti-feminists will find it slightly amusing. At least they'll be amused by your reaction to it. I haven't finished it yet, but I doubt that Red Dead Redemption 2 has anything profound to say about women's rights. Why would it? But on the plus side, this author doesn't think that video games alone can be blamed for real-world violence. So there's no problem then, is there? I mean, I don't even know if any part of a video game can be blamed in any way for real-world violence. And as you seem to agree, at least partially, what's the problem? And of course, the usual verified check marks on Twitter. Not happy. Not happy at all. This is Erin Bieber, a science journalist for the BBC, Scientific American, Popside, The Daily Beast, Wired, all the places that you know you love to read. For the record, I am playing and enjoying this game, but I also think we need to consider how, despite their attempts to be more inclusive, game companies are still catering to some of the worst instincts of toxic and IRL deadly aspects of the gamer community. And also, for the record, if you read the article, there's also an in-game mission where you actually protect suffragettes from abuse while they protest. But why do that and then allow this? Allow it. They clearly want to cater to both sides. Well, how very dare they? Have you considered writing a stern letter to the editor? Someone called Alexandria says, the player's attack damage do damage to all in-game entities at the base level of any game. It's not deliberately chose to put it in. But Erin shoots back with, they deliberately chose to remove the ability to abuse other NPCs, and they deliberately put this suffragette in front of a shop you frequent and deliberately made her annoying and interrupt your conversations. Nothing like real life then, Erin, eh? Honestly, the fact that they placed the suffragette outside a shop and made her extra annoying leads me to believe that this is deliberate and not an oversight. Yes, they're always extra annoying, aren't they, Erin? Is there a lesson you need to learn from this? Could you take anything away from it? Or is it just this representation of a feminist is annoying, but the rest of them are just fine? Jesus, listen to this solution. Set a flag on the player's profile if they hurt/kill her. Maintain a database of all flagged profiles. Christ alright, George Orwell. Unskippable 30-minute cutscene about the flow-on benefits of suffrage each time the game starts for all flagged profiles. Punish your players for hurting one of the characters. Not all of them, just this fucking one. You are such fucking tyrants. Wow, Rockstar Games, this is how you want to be known? This is not funny. This encourages gender abuse. What the hell is wrong with the game designers at your company? Well, I agree, we really shouldn't abuse the concept of gender. I mean, that's something the left has been doing for ages, abusing everyone's notions of what gender is and is not. We really need to stop that. I completely agree. In fact, what I would recommend, Rockstar, is that you take out literally every woman from every game you've ever made. Just take them out. Then people can't abuse the concept of gender or anyone who happens to appear to present as that gender. You can't abuse women if there are no women in your game. My question is, do you get penalised for doing so? Are lawmen called on you for doing this? Speaking from experience, you slaughter Inglain clansmen to your heart's content without having lawmen called on you. No, you actually get a cash reward in the game, $500. I'm joking, you get the law called on you. Motherboard managing editor plays a Rockstar game and wonders why they let players hit women. Emmanuel is shocked that they would take such a direction, as he is unaware of any previous Rockstar title turning a profit with their blatant misogyny. This is why I hate video games. It appeals to the male fantasy. Yeah, I guess it does. I tell you, it's nice to see them getting roasted in their own comments, though. I can beat, shoot, and burn alive everyone in the game. That is true equality. You know, I actually completely agree with this chap. He's actually right. You should be able to punch and beat and do whatever to the feminist if you can do it to anyone else. Another verified checkmark from Motherboard, Wired, Make the Atlantic. Let's see what gamers are up to, punching a feminist in the face. You seem salty, John. Really fucking salty. It's just a video game, little man. Even Unilad have an article about this, because apparently Unilad are also very progressive. Red Dead Redemption 2, players keep killing feminists in the game. I wonder why. 38,000 shares. That is some serious triggering. Obviously, they whine about some of the comments on Shirako's video. This is the correct course of action when women demand rights to vote without the responsibilities that come with it like men have. If men from the past could see the present, women would not have gotten rights to vote in any country ever. I'm really glad she found some tweets for us to read, so I don't have to go find them myself. If you think the suffragette in Red Dead 2 is shrill and annoying, congratulations, you're the problem. Yes, you are. You are the problem. To the feminists. Red Dead 2 features a suffragette character who says things like, "Let me vote," and "I am human," and gamers, who don't hate women by the way, are uploading videos of their creative ways of murdering her. Yeah, but feminists and suffragettes aren't women, though. Imagine, if you will, understanding that of the group women, there is a small, in fact tiny subset called feminists. And imagine not liking them because they are shrill, annoying activists as portrayed in the game. Not liking these people does not mean you hate women. Just so you know. Imagine being a grown-ass adult who can afford a PS4 and the transportation and money to get a copy of Red Dead 2 and then uses their time and energy to beat up a fucking virtual suffragette and be like, "Ha ha ha, annoying feminist gets beat up, top kek." Yeah, I can. I'm having quite a good time imagining that too. Imagine someone doing all of that and then you taking to Twitter and whining about it.